our deities. जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रमाय की जय। गौर निताय की जय। पंचतत्व की जय। गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरु महाराज की जय। विल डू द प्रेयर्स। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य अज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे। So welcome to the Gita Gyan class, and we are continuing chapter number 1. Today we are covering shlok number 14 and 15. So we'll see the shloka and the translation. तथा श्वेते हये युक्तो महती स्वान् दने स्थितौ माधव पाण्डवाय च एव दिव्यशङ्खयोपधम्मतो। Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental concern. Anybody want to read the shloka and translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Kalyani Mataji.
1 minute, I'll just take my book. Bhagavad Gita 1.14. Tata shvetairhayairyukte mahate syandane sthitau madhava pandavaschaiva divyau shankhau pradadmatuhu. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So now we are seeing that till shlok number 13, the focus was totally on the Kauravas. And from this shlok onward, shlok number 14th, the complete focus changes. And the focus is now on the Pandava side. So as we see that in a movie, what happens? They introduce the hero. So whenever the hero comes in any movie, they never focus directly onto that hero. They first show his car, then they will show his shoes, and slowly, gradually, they will go to his face. Like that, they build the situation, right? So, same way we have seen that shlok number 14 onwards, they slowly started introducing the hero. So, who is our hero? Our hero is Lord Sri Krishna. So, here in the shloka, it is mentioned that Shveter Hayat Yukte. That means beautiful white horses. There were beautiful white color horses without any spot, spotless horses, and totally white color. How many horses were there in that chariot? Anybody remember how many horses?
4, Prabhuji.
5 horses, Madhuri.
5 horses. Oh.
5. So that also compared with our 5 senses. So always try to compare that picture that is there in the cover page where the chariot is there, then the 5 horses, then the rider, then the the sarthi. So each signifies some or other thing, right? So like that, the 5 horses are actually signifies our senses, 5 senses. And then The line here mentioned Mahati Sayandane Stitau. Mahati means the celestial, and Sayandane means the chariot, right? So the Mahiti Sayandane Stitau means a magnificent celestial chariot. So finally, then we see in the slide also it is properly displayed that there are two occupants. One is Madhava and one is Pandava. So who is Madhava? Madhava is Lord Krishna and Pandava is Arjuna. So then moving on. So then we see here that now some things we have to actually understand here. If you see Krishna he is the crest jewel of all the heroes, right? He is the hero of heroes. Yet he enter the Gita not as a king or a commander, supreme commander, right? How they enter like a grand entry and all. Though he is a very heroes of hero, but you see here he is having a entry of a very humble entry, right? As a charioteer, Partha Sarthi, right? He become a charioteer. See how he is playing a humble role here. When you see in Vedic culture, a driver is actually a servant, right? So, actually speaking, his entry is as a servant, right? But by taking this position of a charioteer, he demonstrates something. He is saying that his this is like his greatness is not in his power, though we know he have the power which is unlimited, right? The opulences which is unlimited, but still he is not showing that, but he's showing that his love and accessibility for his devotees. So see the greatness. He have everything, but he never show that. But he always show that his love and accessibility is only for his devotee. And Duryodhana's blindness, you see, Duryodhana ignored Krishna because Krishna was not fighting. So you might have seen Duryodhana used to call Krishna as Mayavi. He do tricks. Behind the scene, he was knowing his power, but still he never considered him as Lord. And when he saw that Krishna is not going to fight, he was not even counting Krishna. So that way you see Duryodhana actually, the blindness is like that. When any person is blind, materially blind, it is not physical blind by eyes. So he was materially blind, so he missed the hero. Only for one reason that the hero actually chose to stay away from the fight. So he thought, ki, I will not consider him at all. So we see that he's Sri Krishna's very humble entry. And then we see that the celestial Mahati chariot. That third line, it is started describing about this quality of this chariot. And you see this is not a ordinary vehicle, right? It is gifted vehicle. So can anybody tell me who has gifted it to whom? This chariot? Anybody can recollect?
Agnideva has given it to Arjuna, Prabhuji.
Yes. So Agni Deva, the fire god, he actually has gifted it to Arjun. So we'll see that what is the story behind that. So we are saying here that this is not a ordinary chariot. So fire god, he has gifted it, and he gifted after burning of the Khandava forest. So it is a very famous Khandava kingdom, right? So we'll see what was that. So now this word Mahati. Mahati means great, magnificent. This signifies that this chariot was invincible to ordinary weapons. That means no weapons can actually destroy it, and it is capable of conquering all directions. So east, west, north, south, wherever it goes, it is the symbol of victory. So what is the message for us here? The message for us here is whenever any hero, when he enters in your life, he brings with him the resources. And the resources here is the chariot, which is needed to win the battle. Even though it may be earned through past sacrifices, right? So this chariot was not given immediately before the starting of the war. It was given long back because of some past sacrifice. And what was the sacrifice? We see that the past time when Agni, the fire god, what happened? Agni actually approached Krishna and Arjuna while they were relaxing near Yamuna river. So, what is the reason? Agni was suffering from a very severe case of indigestion, stomach upset. Why? Because this king, Shvetaki, there is a king named Shvetaki, he was actually performing a sacrifice in the forest. And that forest was going on from last 12 years. Imagine the fire sacrifice was going for last 12 years, and he was pouring massive amount of clarified water. What is clarified water? It is nothing but ghee, right? So he was putting or pouring massive amount of ghee into that fire. So it is a ritual, right? In when we do yagna, we put ghee. So because of the massive amount of ghee, Agni he was suffering from indigestion. So to cure himself, Agni actually needed to consume the Khandava forest. He wanted to consume this Khandava forest. Why? Because it was rich in medicinal herbs. In the Khandava forest, there are a lot of things. And the properties, one of the property was it was rich in medicinal herbs. So whenever, every time when Agni actually tried to burn this forest, Indra, the king of heaven, he will send massive amount of rain to extinguish the flames. Why? Because in this forest, his friend was there. Who was his friend? Indra's friend? Nag, the king Takshaka, right? Naga's king. Takshaka was there in that forest. So he was living there. And when Agni used to burn that forest to consume, Indra will immediately start pouring rain to extinguish the flame because his friend is situated there. So, because of that, Agni was not able to consume this medicinal herbs. So now Agni came to Krishna and Arjuna. He requested them to prevent Indra from interfering. So Arjuna agreed for this request, and but he said, I require few things. I require celestial weapons and a very superior vehicle to withstand a battle against the king of heaven, Indra. Right? So that way, what happened? Agni invoke Varuna. Varuna is what? Varuna is Lord of Oceans. So Agni invoked Varuna to provide the necessary equipments. And through Varuna, Agni presented Arjuna with several divine gifts. So one of the gift was Gandiva bows, a powerful indestructible bow created by Brahma. So he gave Gandiva bow. And then he gifted two in exhaustible cures, that is, which never run out of arrows. So two in quantities. And then he gave the chariot by the name Nandi Ghosha. So this is not a ordinary chariot. It's a celestial chariot created by Vishwakarma. And it was completely gold plated. And the speed of this chariot is moving at the speed of mind. So you see our mind can move in a friction of second, it can move to anywhere, any place, right? Anytime. So the speed was compared with mind. And also this chariot was having the flag, right? It bore a flag featuring Hanuman. So you can just see in this picture, there is a flag where the symbol of Hanuman is there. So this was actually gifted by Agni to Arjuna. So that is how this past sacrifice was earned, and now in the battlefield, Arjuna and Krishna entered using this chariot. And next, what happened? Then they started making the transcendental sound, the Divya Shankho. Shankho is nothing but the conch shell. So, what is the significance? You see, any war, they start blowing these conch shells. So now Kaurava side also, they also blew their conch shells, right? But unlike Kaurava's conch shells, which actually represents the material power, Krishna's and Arjuna's conch shells are described as divine shankha, right? Divine conch shells. So Krishna's side, he is the supreme lord. Anything he touch become spiritual. Whereas Arjuna's side, because his intention are to align with the divine Lord, his action and instruments are elevated to spiritual status. So his sound signal not just the start of the war, but inevitable trump of dharma. So what is the takeaway? We have to see from that. We have to take away from this. Ki wherever Lord is there, right? There itself, all the instruments are elevated to spiritual status. So now we know that anything we are doing, how we can actually transform them into a spiritual status, whatever we do. So all these shlokas and whatever pastime that has happened, it actually indicate to our real life. So we have to align it. We have to align it. And then we see that what is the key takeaway for this? My life as part of your story. See, nowadays you see people says, it's my life, I can do anything. So why you are interfering? But actually, it has to be my life is actually part of your story. Who is your here? It's Lord Krishna. So letting Krishna lead. The essence of the hero entry is Arjuna's willingness to let Krishna hold the rein. So immediately we saw that Arjuna, he was so much skillful in war, battlefield. He is Kshatriya. But even then, he let Krishna lead. We have to let our life as a part of Krishna's story. So, what is the shift here? We often want Krishna to be a character in our story, isn't it? We always see Krishna as a character of a story. But spiritual success happens when we realize we are character in his story. So, the conclusion, when we accept a humble, dramatic connection with the divine, our struggle. See, all our life, we all are suffering. Nobody can say that we are here and we are not struggling. Some or other way. Somebody is struggling with um, because of some disease, somebody is struggling with their neighbor, somebody is struggling with their family, somebody is struggling because of their money. But what is constant here? The struggle will be constant. You cannot avoid struggle. Let it be the king, let it be a beggar. You have to struggle here. That is the rule that is defined already. Whoever comes in Bholuka has to suffer. So, what is the way out? So, everybody's struggle is like Kurukshetra, the life, Kurukshetra's life. So, become, we have to have the connection of this divine. Then only then only my life as a part of your life. So you see here, it is saying that my life as a part of your story. We should not never say ki my life, my story. We have to always say ourselves that my life is, I am just a character in your story. I am just a instrument, right? So that is how actually he concluded this shlok number 14. Moving on to the shlok number 15. Roji Mataji, somebody want to recite the shloka and translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Premamayi Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Text 15. पाञ्चजन्यं ऋषिकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जया पौण्डरं ददमो महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मावियोगधरः. Translation by His Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Krishna blew his conch Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his the Devadatta, and Bhima, the warrior eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondra. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we see here, this shloka begins, the sound of victory. So in this verse, Lord Krishna is referred as Rishikesha. Right? What is the meaning of Rishikesha? Rishikesha means conqueror of all the senses. Right? Rishikesha, he blows his conch, and his conch shell is known as Panchajanya. And then Arjuna blow his Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is Arjuna. He blows Devadatta. And then we saw that Bhima, Vikrodara, he blows his conch shell called as Pondre. So these were not ordinary sound. They signal the presence of Supreme Lord on the Pandavas side, indicating that the outcome of this war was already spiritually decided. So we see here every every Kshatriya, even including Lord, they have their own conch shell by their name and they are blowing out, right? So, as mentioned, Krishna is also addressed as Rishikesha. So, Lord of senses. So, what is the lesson here? The lesson here is our senses. We have five senses, right? So, our senses are meant to be engaged in the service of the master of senses. That is why he is referred as Rishikesha. He is the master of senses. And we have to engage. It's not that our senses we have to suppress. We cannot suppress our senses. It is not possible to control your mind, right? It is very difficult to control your eyes. All these five senses, it is impossible. You can control it for some fraction of minutes or time or whatever you call it, but then it will start taking control. But only who can control? Rishikesha can control it. That is why we have to engage our senses to the master of senses. So the true peace comes not from trying to satisfy our own senses, that also we have to remember. Don't think that if we keep on feeding our senses, then we'll get peace. We have seen that example, right? We go and see some uh, gulab jamun serving to us in one plate. So we immediately grab it. We take one. We become so delighted, right? We immediately start looking for the second one. Then again, second we take. We realize that. And then we want one more. So like that, the server keep on giving. There is no end to our senses. Keep on asking for one more, one more. And then finally what happened? Our stomach started paining. We have indigestion. So that is why we can never actually satisfy our own senses. So that is why it is said that true peace will not come by just trying to satisfy your senses. It is just temporary. But if we align the same senses with Krishna's will as Arjuna did in the battlefield, we see the result. So try to see this. Arjuna is so elevated personality. He himself accepted that he cannot control his senses. So then what were we? So we have to keep on aligning our senses. So that is why through tongue we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Like that, we take Krishna Prasadam. Similarly, through our ears, we try to hear Prabhupada lecture, we hear Bhagavad Gita, we hear Bhagavad Puran. Otherwise, what will happen? All these senses will drive us away. So if you don't plan for your life, life will plan for you, right? So always you have to have your plan ready. Otherwise, somebody else will actually plan for you and he will drive you accordingly. So now we know what is the meaning of Rishikesha and to whom it is indicating. Then Vakrodhara, the power of Vakrodhara indicates the power of determination. So who is Vakrodhara here? Vakrodhara is nobody else than Bhima. So we know that Bhima was ferocious eater, right? He used to constantly eat whatever he get, he used to eat, and he used to eat massively, and he used to perform Herculean task, right? So Bhima's conch sound was terrifying to the Kauravas when he blew his conch. Every soldier every commander from the Kaurava side, they were trembling. So you see that the divine service utilize every quality. So see the very important line here. Divine service utilize every quality. So Bhima's immense physical strength and ferocity were perfectly engaged in the service of dharma, showing that all natural talent have a place in spiritual life. So don't just leave it to Lord Krishna everything. So only the result. When I say don't just leave it to, we have to leave everything. The result we have to. That is why it says, na, do your karma, leave the result to Lord. So everybody see, Lord, since we are part of Lord, we cannot say कि we are useless. We all have some natural talents. Some Mataji is very good in making prasadam, cooking prasadam. Some Mataji is very good in singing kirtan. Some Prabhujis are very good in, worshipping in the temple, deity worshipping. So like that, every soul have a natural talent. Don't suppress it. As you see here, the divine service utilize every quality. Only thing is, we have to align that natural talent with our spiritual life. There is a place of this. We have to just align it. So, and then we see that the vibration of this conscious rent the hearts of Dhritarashtra's son. All the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, they were shaking when they heard the vibration of this conscious. So you see that the material power, the who was having the material power, the Kauravas, they have the massive army, cannot withstand the spiritual resonance of truth and devotion. When the divine sound entered the situation, the foundation of ego and greed began to crumble. So these Kauravas were full of ego, full of greed. They thought they have double the army, they have all the commanders with them. And Krishna being the other side, he's not fighting. So they have lot of egos and greed. But the moment this sound vibrating, they were shaken. And we'll just conclude this for the today's shlokas. The compassion, the relationship, Krishna, the supreme controller, takes the position of Arjuna's charioteer. As we see here that though he is the hero, he took the role of Parthasarthi. So what it concludes for us for today? It concludes by reflecting on Krishna's accessibility. You see that if you align with Krishna, you can never say that I am not able to see Krishna. I am chanting so much. I am regularly going to the temple. Still, I am having so much troubles in my life. That will be always there. As long as we are not out of this cycle of birth and death, the struggle will be always there. Only thing is we have to align with Krishna, and then you see that how we are accessible to Krishna. So he is not just the distant ruler. Don't think that he is in Goloka, he is so far. We cannot reach him. He cannot reach us. He is intimately involved in the life of his devotees, guiding their chariots through the battles of life. So our life is, going in the chariot, right? It also have taken some path. It is up to us whether we want to take this as a divine path or demonic path. So that is how we have to control our senses by aligning to Lord Krishna. So with that, we actually conclude this two shlokas, and then tomorrow we'll see further shlokas. So thank you, Prabhujis and Matajis, for joining. Any additions or any questions, we can just take 1 or 2 minutes and we'll end for class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.